are risk averse. How many of you have heard that? Well, after listening to these stories tonight, are women risk averse? No. We're not. We actually are willing to take a lot of risks. So I think we should all give ourselves a hand for being. I am going to try to be very brief. It's interesting listening to all these stories of these very accomplished women. I think I am on the program because I'm one of the women who wasn't accomplished. I came out of school with a music degree and arrived on Wall Street. I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any confidence. And basically my first job was as a secretary to a retail broker. And I decided that that's not what I wanted to be. And so I started to work my way up and eventually became an investment banking analyst and eventually a sell-side research analyst. And today I'm the founder of an investment firm here in Boston. One of the things that we invest in is disruptive innovation. And some of you are familiar with that term, but let me just go through it very briefly. A disruptive innovation is a low-end or new market innovation that goes in and eventually upends the industry. Amazon is a great example. It's upended the book industry, and now it's upending the publishing industry. And my message to you tonight on the pivot is that we ourselves can disrupt ourselves. Disruption is not just about products, it's not just about services, but it's about us. And so here are 4 quick messages. Number 1, and many of you have touched on this. First of all, when you're disrupting yourself, what the theory says, if it's scary and lonely, you're probably on the right track. Number 2 is be assured that you have no idea what's going to come next. And one of the pieces of research out there is that for 90% of all successful new businesses, the strategy they initially pursued is not the one that led to their success. 90%, ladies. Remember that. Because many of you have probably gone down a path. In fact, every woman who spoke tonight, you could argue she's having a successful life, but the path that she started with is very different than where she is today. The third is that you need to use new metrics. Now, Moneyball's out right now. I love that film. I think I'm a Billy Bean groupie, so if I ever meet him, that's probably not a good thing. But basically what he did is he changed the world of baseball by measuring statistics that weren't measured. And so one of the things that you need to do as you're pivoting in your life, and Christine commented on it, and Karen commented on it, and actually all of you did, is that you started to measure different metrics. Am I happy? If I'm not happy, then I need to go find a place where I am going to be happy. And so metrics shifted. And the last one that I want to tell you, and I love this because of the empirical research behind it, when Clayton Christensen wrote The Innovator's Dilemma, what he found is that the odds of success when you pursue a disruptive course are 6 times higher and the revenue opportunity 20 times greater. What that means is if you'll go to the low end where no one else is or where no one wants to play, your odds of success improve. And what I love about women is I think we're natural disruptors. We, by definition, know how to disrupt. And so as you're pursuing your pivot, know that you can actually be quite successful. All right, with that, part of the reason we're here tonight is to meet new and fabulous people. So, I want to give you 5 pieces, actually 5 instructions as you're networking before we turn it over to Christine to do the door prizes. Number 1, the person that you're talking to while you're networking is the most important, interesting, fascinating person you've ever met in your life. And that is going to last for 2 minutes alone. So they're fascinating and interesting for 2 minutes, but then you have to move on because you need to meet more people. The second thing is I want you to meet at least 3 people. 3 of them can be people you came to meet, but then I want you to do one random person. Just walk up to someone, you have no idea who they are, and talk to them. And ask them 3 questions until you figure out what you have in common. Number 4, I want you to find one of the sponsors tonight and thank them. The reason I want you to do that is that the sponsors who are here started businesses, and one of those, you could be one of those sponsors next year. And so what we'd love to have you do is let them know how much you appreciate what they've done and what they've accomplished, and those delicious cupcakes. And then the fifth thing that I want you to do, and this is the most important, is after this event is over, my Twitter handle, by the way, is Johnson Whitney. If you're not on Twitter, I love Twitter, I have to admit that. In fact, my HBR editor is here, Sarah Green, and she knows that my husband calls me Lady Bird Johnson because I like to tweet so much. And, it gets even worse. One night we were kneeling down to say our family prayer, and I started tweeting, and he said, "What, are you going to tweet the prayer?" So, you need to understand that I love Twitter. But it's a wonderful way to connect. So my Twitter handle is Johnson Whitney. What I want you to do, it doesn't have to be Twitter, it can be email. After this event is over, I want you to pick one person that you met, write them a note, write them a tweet, and give them a genuine, concrete compliment, preferably not about how they look, but about who they are as a person, how you perceive them, what they were like, how smart they were, how impressed you were by them. Because the goal for tonight is for us to have come away and met someone who can maybe become a lifelong friend, and with whom, as Heather said, maybe we'll meet our Joe. I hope that we'll be able to do that, and I will now turn it over to Christine for the door prizes.